grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny, sunny, sunny side of the street.
Hi, welcome to another Sunny Side of the Street. I'm your host, Todd Gross, a clinical psychologist and director of Adams Street Associates in Newton. Our show on the Sunny Side of the Street really tries to look at the side of the news and of human beings that you don't usually see, which is the positive side, people helping other people, people overcoming odds, and people telling inspiring stories. And tonight we have an incredibly important story to talk about. Part of the sunny side of the street is the importance of families and the love and the bond between parents and children. And so when something threatens to disturb that bond and the connection between parents and children and the love of their family, it's very important for us to talk about what's going on. And tonight we're going to be talking about a program called the Temporary Protective Status, which I believe began about 1990. And the idea has been that for people from countries where there are threats, whether they be natural or whether they be physical threats to violence and other issues, that when people flee from these countries, they really need to have some protection and ability to make a new start in another country and to raise families. And the people in the TPS program, many of them from, I believe, Haiti and San Salvador, other countries, Honduras, when they've come, they have built a life here. They have gotten jobs, they have been taxpayers, they have definitely contributed a tremendous amount to both our economy, our society, and our human family. And so, until recently, they were granted, the families and these people were granted who came temporary status with the understanding that unless the country that they came from becomes declared safe for them to go back, that they can continue to be here. And usually, in order to still be here, people would have to agree, diplomats and people within the country, that the country could not take a large number of people back, and the people who would be going back were safe. Add to that dilemma that when these people came over courageously to make a new beginning, they also had children. And now there are many, many children who have spent their whole lives in the United States. This is the country they know, and they are citizens. And so what happens if our government, as it just did, arbitrarily decides they're going to end a program that has been so helpful to these families? And now the parents and the young people are in a dilemma where they face a terrible choice. Well, because this is a complicated issue, my feeling was I wanted to do a show where you could hear from people who are involved in this directly. And we've got some wonderful, wonderful people who are going to be able to share with you a little bit of how they see this. And my hope is that you will listen with an open ear and open heart. There was a play that was made, that was done, to dramatize the plight of these families, and that's what we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about the issues here. So here to help us, first of all, on my left is Berlinda Landaverdi. Hi, Berlinda.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. And to her left is Francisca, her daughter, and then we have Angela Palma, and then over on this side we have Sophia Landaverdi. So we have three Landaverdis. And then to her left, we have Emily Wright. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
And and Jared Wright. And Emily and Jared are going to start by telling us a little bit about they're involved in dramatizing through a play the plight of the temporary protective status people that are involved. And so I'm gonna begin, I think, Jared and Emily, with you, and ask you just a little bit about how this idea got started to do a play, and then also you can explain the documentary so people will get an idea of what everyone has been involved in this. Whoever wants to start there.
Okay, sure. So I used to teach a lot of Salvadoran students in Chelsea, Mass.
Yes.
And I taught at a high school there, and I actually taught newly arrived immigrant students in Chelsea.
I see.
And when TPS was first canceled, I was working actually at Harvard. Emily works there as well, but I was working at the Kennedy School. And my students started texting me and reaching out to me saying, "Mr. Wright, you're at Harvard, you can fix this, right? Like, do something."
Right.
And I was like, no, you don't understand. I have no power.
Big problem.
Yeah. And so then when I found out about that, we have a theater company. So
yes.
Our theater company is me, Emily, Vadat, and Donya, who are both Persian. They're Iranian, and a lot of immigration issues have also affected them. In fact, my co-producer Vadat, his wife was part of the Muslim travel ban. So she was actually stuck in Iran when that happened.
I see.
And so when this came up for us, we said, well, we don't have any power, but we can work with the folks who are already doing work toward trying to help TPS recipients.
Very good.
And so we reached out to actually Angela's father, Jose Palma, who at the time was the Massachusetts TPS committee coordinator.
Yes, amazing man. I've met him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he gets everyone involved in everything. And so he got us involved. And so we said we would do a storytelling workshop with folks from the community. And when we decided to do this storytelling workshop, they asked if they could bring their kids. You know, we were originally thinking we'll work with adults, they'll tell their stories more powerfully, and then they'll be able to use that toward advocacy. But all the kids showed up, and actually Pancha, Francisca, was in my group where I was doing the storytelling workshop with them, and there were probably 35, almost 40 people who came to the training, and probably a third of those were kids.
Nice.
And so when the kids were there, their stories shook us.
Understandable.
You know, one of the stories was that they were waking up in the middle of the night, and their dreams had been that their parents were already gone. And so they would go to the doorway of their parents' room and make sure that they were still there.
Of course.
Or Brian, one of the kids who's also in the play, said, you know, he was 12 at the time, and he was like, I used to just try to never hang out with my parents. My main goal was to play soccer with my friends as much as I could. But he said when he found out about TPS, he stopped playing soccer as much, and he would do chores. He would go in the car. He would do anything he could to be with his dad because he wanted to remember him when he was gone. And when we heard stories like Pancha's or stories like Brian's, we said, you guys need to tell these stories.
And how?
And they wanted to tell their stories, but they also were like, I don't want to go in front of groups of people and just tell the story over and over and over.
Scary, yeah.
Yeah, right? Just rooms of people staring at you. And so we said, well, all we can do is make plays. Do you guys want to make a play? And their answer was yes.
That's how it started.
Yeah, and then they took it from there, really.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add there too, or maybe about the documentary as well?
Yeah, so we started the play in the summer of 2018. And it takes a lot to put together a play. All of the kids were so great about making time for the rehearsals and being there on time, and when school started up again, they would all come after school and not talk about their homework or talk about if they were tired or anything. So they have become, and they almost started out as professionals. So we were able to perform the play, I think, 8 times. We started, our first one was at Boston University, then Harvard, and I'm going to miss a couple, but eventually we traveled to Washington, D.C., and we were able to perform it 3 times there, one of which was in Congress, which was truly amazing. We had a lot of legislators and a lot of staffers. Jim McGovern was there,
Yes,
and I'm going to forget some other
Markey
names,
was
but
there.
Ed Markey wasn't able to join us, but Ayanna Presley, her whole staff was amazing, and they helped us
Oh,
put it
that's
all together
good.
and secure the space, so we had a lot of help with
Wonderful.
that. But we had a great turnout with that, and then we came back to Massachusetts, and we performed it again at Boston City Hall, which was really cool. And something that we were really lucky about is that since we started, we had a film crew working with us, Boston Neighborhood Network,
Yes.
and they were great about getting the on-stage moments, and then for me, the even better behind stage moments and the rehearsal process where we all just became like a giant family.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And then that project kind of progressed with our show, and they put together a documentary for us. So now we've sort of kind of shifted from doing the performance, which takes a lot of rehearsal time and a lot of planning
Yes.
for getting everyone to clear their schedules, to showing this documentary, which is great because we can show it without having to bring all of our props, without having to perform.
Yes.
And it gives you, I mean, the play is still, it really gets you.
Yes.
And the documentary does too. It just kind of, it makes you understand what they've been going through from their point of view. And yeah, so we've been really
Yes.
lucky. We've had 2 really good projects that we can take on the road,
It's
and now
excellent.
this documentary.
And thank you for that, Emily. And
yeah.
for our audience, I'd like to say too that right now we're going to actually take a couple minutes and show you a little clip from that documentary just to give you a taste, and then we're going to meet the people again to talk about it directly. But right now we'll show a little clip of the documentary for everybody.
It was your story, or one of the stories that really jumped out at us as like something where we realized we have to do more. And it was a little bit about what you're worried about as TPS is running out, right? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So like basically I usually never spend time with my dad. So as soon as I found out the news that they might be canceling, I got really worried. So I basically spent every single moment I can with him. Just helping him around the house, doing anything just to spend time with him.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Brian. Does anybody else want to share a couple of things? What are the conversations you guys have with your parents at home? Or what are the things that you're worried about?
Some conversations we have with my parents is that I will have to be staying here and possibly moving in with my youngest aunt. She's 23, I think, and she's a citizen. So I'll probably have to move in with her and with my 2 siblings and 1 on the way. My mom is now 7 months, so she's pretty soon going to have my other brother. And she just says that there's technically no life in El Salvador. I wouldn't have the best education I would be getting here. But either way, if I were to be taking school here, I wouldn't have that support of a parent that I would usually always have. So it would be really hard for me and my family because we're all attached to my parents, especially my 2 younger brothers. And recently I've been like fighting with my parents a lot about very certain things. And it kind of just like, what if at one point we do get separated? What will happen? And I don't want to end up getting separated in a bad place. In general, I don't want to be separated from a family. So that's what scares me the most. And those are the type of conversations we usually have with my parents. Like, I'm going to have to be staying here because it's very dangerous in El Salvador.
Thank you.
Did you worry your parents were going to be sent away just when you were just 9? Did you have to worry that you might not be able to see your parents again for a long time? Would you have to worry that you will be with your sisters and have no support. I came here in 2015 with my dad. He only stayed here for like 3 months. Then he got deported. When I heard the news, I got really sad.
To welcome the Boston Experimental Theater and TPS Massachusetts for their show, The Last Dream. These young people are the people who will change our world.
They don't want us here anymore. Do you not understand that? Next year, none of us are going to be here to celebrate for Sophia. None of us.
Sometimes people here don't realize that there are real human beings behind some of these policies, and I think it's really, really important telling those those personal stories.
Personally, my family, every 18 months that they have to renovate, they always have to go to the place, and they have to check their fingerprints, make sure they're not getting any bad stuff. Our parents are not criminals at all.
To bet that the majority of members of Congress do not know, and that is your parents who have TPS have to register every 18 months with the federal government, have to go through background checks. So not only are they not criminals, they're the most law-abiding people in this country.
Okay, I hope that gives you a little feeling of how powerful and important this issue is. What I'd like to do next is to turn to some of the young people first here and ask you, what was it like to act in the play and to portray some of the situations you were going through? And maybe I start with Francisca. What do you think?
Well, acting in the play was very emotional and also empowering at the same time. It was emotional because I know that this isn't just a play, it's not a script, it's my actual life. It's what's actually happening to me. They put it on paper, but they didn't come up with it out of thin air. They came up with our stories, they put our stories on paper, and that's what we're telling to everyone. We're not telling lies or just a script-based story, we're telling our actual stories, what's actually happening to us. And it was empowering at the same time because standing on the stage every time I performed it, I felt like I had a voice and that I had power, that my voice was getting out there, that people were listening to me, and that I was making a difference. Because I'm not just sitting around at my house watching the news, looking at everything that's happening and staying there. I'm stepping on both my feet and I'm making a difference, and I'm trying to change it because I want to stay here with my parents and I want to fulfill my dreams, and I know that I'm making a difference.
That's beautifully said. Thank you so much. And I understand why it could be both difficult but also very empowering. And it's you're telling your truth and you're having a voice, and that makes a lot of sense. What would you add, from just how it was for you, Angela?
I would add that every time we would perform the play, we would always see our parents in the audience. And I feel like when you're saying the lines, when you're with, when I'm with Francisca, my best friend, we've known each other since we were babies. And you just see our parents out in the audience. You feel like you're doing something because you want to stay with your families. It's like we're all coming together because this is a crisis, and in times of crisis we all come together for our families.
So the power of the community of people and the connections really add to the sense of at least we're supporting each other and we're together in this. And how about for you? What do you think, Sophia? What would you want us to know?
Well, at the very beginning of every single performance that we've done, I'm always very nervous.
Sure.
And I've always had my mom or my dad with me. But how about if in the future I do a play again? I won't have my parents there to comfort me when I'm nervous. So I feel like the play, it's very powerful because it's telling our stories, and what we're doing to help our parents for them to be with us.
You bet. That's, all three of you have said such important things already. How about for you, Belinda? What, as a parent, what does it feel like to see them acting out these stories that are so real, as Francisca was saying?
It's hard. For me, it's hard.
Yes.
For my daughter is there in the play. So every time I cry because this is really story, what she said, because it's my story.
Yes.
When I thinking in the families, when I thinking is now the problem, it's impossible not feel my heart broke.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. That makes so much sense. Can people comment on what it feels like to be in this limbo where you're in between status and worrying? What are some of the day-to-day things that make it really difficult? You want people to understand, because there's a lot of parents out here that may be watching this, as well as young people. What would you want them to know about what kind of feelings it produces in each of you to be in this kind of in-between status where you're afraid you're going to be broken apart, but it hasn't happened yet?
One of the things that I think of most that I want people to know is that I'm exactly like everybody that sits in the same classes at me at school. We're the same. We learn the same. We take the same exams. We're the same people. Mm-hmm. But I am struggling because I know that in a couple of months I'm not going to have that parental support that they have. That's the only thing that's making us different right now, is that they don't have to go to sleep every night thinking that this is one less night that I'm going to be able to say goodnight to my mom, that I'm going to be able to hug her goodnight, that she's going to be able to give me a blessing to go to sleep. That's one less night that I have. I have to miss games, I have to miss school, I have to sacrifice hanging out with my friends on Fridays or weekends for doing the play, for rehearsals, for interviews, for getting our voices out there. I'm not getting the same teenage years that everybody else is getting.
Robbing a bit of your childhood from you.
Yes, exactly. I'm getting my childhood, my teenage years taken away from me because I have to fight to stay with my family. And I am not complaining that I am here fighting. I am not, because I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I just want them to understand that I am being taken away from my own rights, that they're being taken away from me, and that I don't deserve it.
Agreed. And you can be angry at that too, I'm sure, is one of the feelings in there too. Yeah. One more question for you, and then I'll ask the same questions for others. What, if anything, I think you've answered this partly, but what, if anything, helps you cope with how difficult this is? Because you are in a different status and you live it.
I think what helps me get to my goals, what drives me to reach my goals, is that my own government is trying to kick me out of my country, kick my parents, my family out of my own country, and they look at us as less. And I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an immigration lawyer.
Good for you.
And what drives me to do good in school, to keep my grades up, to stay up late doing my homework just to succeed, is that they want to kick me out. They want to see me fail, but I'm not going to let them see me fail. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to get to my goals because I'm not going to be the failure that they want me to be.
I believe you will, and I love that determination. That is a very good answer. That's one very powerful way to cope. You will show them that they will not beat you. And I'm with you.
Thank you.
How about for you, Angela? First of all, what is it like for you on a day-to-day basis? What kinds of things come up for you in terms of the issues? And then also, what helps you cope?
Well, on a day-to-day, on behalf of the parents, they're scared. My mom and my dad, they have to go get their license. And I can see that they're scared because going to get your license renewed, they're scared if TPS gets taken away, they won't be able to drive us around. They won't be able to take us to school. And I can see that my mom is scared. And me and my brother, we have 2 younger siblings. So we try to help my mom as much as we can because we see her struggling. And I feel like if TPS is taken away, our 2 younger siblings will have to go with her. And that's something that scares me.
It splits up the family.
Yes.
One of the things that comes out of what you're saying too is that it must be hard to watch your parents struggle with this too, besides your own struggle of, you know, the ways it affects you, just to see how it must really be the huge worry and cloud over their heads. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate very much what you said. And what helps you cope, do you think?
Well, I see my dad every day on phone calls, going to meetings.
He's very active on this. He's a leader.
And what makes me feel better is that he's standing up for all these families. And I know that if anything happens, we'll have the privilege to say that we fought for our rights and that we tried. We didn't stay home. We didn't let this take us over. We tried and we fought.
So between what you and Francisca have said so far, you can fight at the personal level in terms of how you deal with the challenges for you, school and other things like that, but you can also fight by having a voice, as you both have said, outside. You're going to rehearsals, you're doing the play, you're performing, you're talking, and you have parents that are on the front line fighting too. And you're not just saying, this is okay to treat us this way. We do not deserve it and we don't accept it, and we're fighting. More power to you both. And how about for you? I wonder about what you think, Sophia. How is it for you on a day-to-day basis? How much worrying is it for you, and how does it affect you?
Well, for me, I'm only in 5th grade, so there's not like a lot of people who like make fun of me. But there is, like, I do feel sometimes that like there's people higher than me because their parents are citizens, but I know that we're all the same, and that just because my parents have TPS and just because they're at the risk of leaving doesn't mean that that we're different. We're all the same.
Well said. Well said. And as sad as that makes you, what helps you? What gives you some source of strength or hope?
Well, my sisters, because my sisters are always there to help me with anything. They're always there, telling me it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
They're the ones who give me support, as well as my mom and my dad. But they mostly always tell me, "Don't worry about it, because we're gonna fight, and we're just gonna keep on fighting until we win."
You're also very strong, and this is very, very hard, and those emotions are very real. I hope people really can learn from what you just said. It's so honest, and I appreciate it. And how about for you? For Linda, as a parent, what kind of day-to-day things affect you, and what gives you hope or helps you cope?
Every day I'm thinking about each day.
Yes.
It's the last day to stay here. Every day, sometimes it's hard to make it strong.
Yes.
In the front of my daughters.
You want to stay strong, yes.
Yeah, this is impossible. Sometimes I
Of
try to
course.
talk to everyone about how I feel, but I say, I have faith, I believe, I want to stay together each day. When Sophia said to me sometimes, "Mom, next year I want to play against soccer, you are here?" I say, "Yes," but in my heart, I say, "I don't know."
Yes.
And
it kills not to be able to be certain.
Yeah, sometimes I had
sure.
dreams. I had dreams that I go to my country. I don't have family there. My mom and my dad are students here, and my sisters too. They live in USA, all of us. Yeah, when I dreams, I'm thinking I am there and my family here. I don't have words to say how I feel.
Of course.
And it's difficult to explain because it's more than 20 years here. I try to make everything right.
Yes.
And now they need to say, "You need to leave." I have built up families here. I built up house, cars, license, and everything. And after they say, you need to go, it's impossible to explain.
It feels also unspeakably cruel and unfair. And does your faith help you some? Or does this sort of defy this?
Yeah.
It does, it's so powerful. Yes.
Sometimes I want to thinking I need to fight it each day. I am the
Yes.
committee in Massachusetts too. But sometimes I feeling each day they not listening why they need, what the families need now. But we need to continue.
I hear you, and I hope that people are going to be listening. I hope that what the kinds of courage that all of you are showing as you talk today, that people hear this and they realize there's a lot of you that feel the same way, and a lot of you that are being treated totally unfairly. I wanted to ask the three of you a little more about how do your friends react? Do you get some support from friends? I know that you're alone in certain ways. Do you get support sometimes from friends or kids at school that know?
At my school, I go to Malden Catholic.
Okay.
And my principal, I have so much respect for her because since all of this began, since my freshman year and I entered that school, and I told her what was happening, she's been so supportive.
Oh, I'm so glad.
She even brought a bus full of girls from my school to see one of our plays for our first play at Boston University. And I feel that when I go to school, that I know that I have a family there. All my friends, they're so supportive, and I know that they love me and that they're not gonna leave me alone. My friends have gone out to rallies with me. They've been so supportive in many ways, and they know that if I'm struggling, they're always there for me. They know that if I'm late doing homework and that if I've had a TPS thing, they'll call me and they'll help me with my homework.
That's so nice.
They're amazing, and I love that if I go into my school, I know that I have that support from my friends, from my teachers, and I just have that family feeling when I get to school and I see all of them and I see how they support me.
I'm glad you said that, and I hope they're watching, because to hear that, teachers, principal who sets a tone for school, when they treat you as part of their family and they show that they care, they're doing something really, really powerful and helpful. How about for you, Angela? How about your friends?
Well, for me, I think it's a different story because I try to explain to them what's happening, and I feel like they just take it like, oh, it's her job, or it's just a normal work thing. So I just try to leave it alone because I know, like, the more I explain to them, like, they don't really understand, I think. But the other day, so I'm taking an activism and advocacy class.
Wow, good.
And I felt like my teacher needed to know what I was doing. So after class, I called her and I was like, Miss Osgood, I don't think I can be in your class if you don't know what's happening really in my life. And I started telling her everything about TPS. And she really understood, and I feel like
good.
Having a teacher that understands, she's gonna help me tell everybody else so that they can help and be on my side.
What a great thing you did by doing that. And it kind of shows that all of you and people who are in the same situation, you can be educators yourself. And the teachers can then carry it further for you, like you said. But that was a wonderful move to really try to teach her what she needed to know to understand the situation, so then she could spread some from her role to other students. And did any of the students or any of your friends ever have an opportunity to see the play?
No.
No. Well, maybe they can watch this show at least and see how amazing you guys are. And how about you? Another amazing one over there, Sophia. What do you say?
Well, I try to explain to my friends what TPS is and what I'm doing, but some of my friends really don't believe me. They think, oh yeah, right, you're just doing that and stuff. like once I got dismissed because a news channel was gonna interview us.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, why'd you go home? Why did you have to get dismissed from school? I'm like, because I was gonna go on a news channel because of what I told you guys what I'm doing. And they still didn't believe me.
Really?
And there's only one of my friends, she's like my best friend. And she's the only one that actually believes me. Because like she's gone to my house for birthdays, well, for my birthday, and I've told her a lot of stuff about what I'm doing, and she's like, oh, like, can I help you guys in anything? Like, her parents, they were immigrants when they came, and also my other friend, her mom was an immigrant when she came, and she says that she talked to her mom about it, and that her mom knows the feeling of being an immigrant, and she knows the feeling of people not wanting her here. So only two of my friends are actually the ones who give me a lot of support.
Okay, all right. So it varies for each of you. I hear that. A couple questions I wanted to ask for you guys too. Is it true that for people who want to go on to college, that if you have a TPS status, you can't sign for financial aid? I think I heard that at one of the meetings.
So two of our actors, Jacqueline and Kevin. Jacqueline is another Londa Verde, and Kevin is Audrey's sister.
I like them all. I bring them on. Yeah.
They were applying to colleges while they were doing this show and doing all the activism that they've been doing. And they both had issues with their financial aid because their parents' current status within the United States.
Yeah.
And again, like the girls just explained, that's something that I'm sure none of their friends had to deal with. It was just a given that they would apply to a school, and if they got into the one they wanted, they would go there. But for Jacqueline and Kevin, that unfortunately was not the case. And just to note, as we've heard from what the girls were just saying, and with the situation that Kevin and Jacqueline were facing, they've made the best of it. They're so strong, and it's almost as if they don't want that to complicate the situation that their parents are facing. So they've put on a strong face, and they've found another path for themselves. And they're both going to college currently, and
that's great.
They're doing great. So, but yes, they definitely did have some issues that most kids do not have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think it is important to point out that the kids themselves redeemed it, but like Jacqueline's first choice was Suffolk University.
Yes.
And in order to get the loans for Suffolk, they needed someone to sign for those loans who would be here in the United States, have gainful employment for a longer period of time. And so she's going to be transferring to another good school, but that was her first choice. She wants to study law as well, right? She wants to go out and she wants to change the laws so that these things can't happen again in the future to other families.
Well said.
But she's had to adjust her plan because those resources were not made available to people who are immigrants. And so there are real repercussions. Even though the kids find ways of redeeming it, there are real repercussions for these children, right? Who are citizens of the United States.
I know that you're all part of publicizing what this dilemma is, even including what you're doing right now. For people watching that feel, like I imagine a lot of us do, that this is so unjust and is just ripping people apart despite their courage, what kind of ways would you tell them that you'd like their help? If we have let's assume there's more than 3 people watching today. We'll see. I hope so. I usually say if my wife doesn't watch the show, we lose 50% of the audience. But seriously, let's assume there's a lot of people watching, and hopefully, because this is on the internet, there will be. What would you like them to know about how they could help? What are some ways people could help that would matter to you guys? Anyone and everyone.
I think there's many ways that you could help.
Yeah.
One, reach out to the people in Washington, reach out to senators, representatives, tell them that you want them to be in our favor and to pass bills that are in our favor and that will give our parents permanent residence. also come out to our events, come out to our play showings, our the documentary showings, come out to Comité TPS's events, to all those events, and show that you're in favor, and ask for more, ask for what you can do to help, ask for more ways to help, more ways to be involved, even if it's writing a letter, making some calls, telling some friends to call to their representatives. That all helps. And if I know people make false promises saying that they will and they never do, but making a commitment to us and to yourself that you're actually going to do it, that means so much to me.
That's what I want them to hear, and I believe that. And other people, please add your own thoughts about what kind of things we could ask, what kind of help people could give.
The first one, they listen these stories. Why I'm here? What happened now with the child?
Yes.
This is the first one. You never understand the stories if you don't listen to people. What happening? This is what they need to do before. See, they understand exactly what happening. They thinking different after to help her. What she say is so many ways they help her to all the ones.
Excellent point. Very, very important point about people. If you're watching, you need to listen and you need to talk to other people and get other people to participate. Is there a contact point? Is there a website that people, because we can put that on the screen for people too. What would that be? Can you guys help us?
The Massachusetts TPS website is www.masstps.org.
Okay.
And there you can find a little bit more about what is currently happening with their status, what efforts they have done in the past 2 years, where you can donate if you would like to do that, where our next events are happening, including the documentary, and there's contact information there as well.
That's good. That's really good to know. Anybody else have any other thoughts about what kind of ways people could help?
I think Angela said something really important before.
Yeah.
When she was talking about her father and seeing these families and how much energy and effort they're putting into this, so that win or lose in this fight, she can say that she did everything she possibly could to help her families. You know, these are my families. They have treated me like we are family throughout this whole year and a half that we've gotten to work with them, which has been really beautiful.
That's so nice.
But I think what's in the balance for somebody who grew up in, you know, suburban middle class America is our humanity. If we allow for things like this to happen to people, and we are not doing everything we can in our power to fight with and to really treat that struggle as though it is our own, then our humanity is being compromised. And we are giving up really our souls. And immigration is the soul of America. It is the soul of these people who have come here. Yeah. I'm Irish and I'm Puerto Rican, right? And so both of which are nomadic in a way in America, right? And so to give that up, to say that's not what we do anymore, is tragic. And I think that we need to see what we can do creatively, because yes, we will ask people to come out and show up to rallies, and we will ask people to donate, and we will ask people to write letters. But really, we need people to do more. You know, Todd, you saw our show, and then when that was done, you said, come to a show that I run, right? We want people to get creative. We want whatever avenue it is that they're in. If they're painters, if they host a show, if they're therapists,
very good examples.
If they're doctors, we want them to rally those people around this issue and say, how can I contribute? What is it specifically that I can do? And we want them to do it. I'm not all that talented, right? But I know how to do theater. And so I said, what can we do to help? Because our humanity is in the balance. And when that happens, you do anything that you can creatively to make it happen. And then if you fail, you can say, I did everything in my power to defend those people. But if you don't do that, then you have to live with that compromise to your humanity.
So well said, Jared. We have to make a stand. We really have to make a stand. Everybody out there that's listening, we have to make a stand. And I think one of you said the feeling of being treated like we're lesser people. You know, that's what the message that it sends by doing something so awful to families like yours. And the opposite of that message, which we've talked about a lot on this show with many different people, is that we're all connected. We're all together. And it's just, I love your passion. I really do. Anything you want to add to?
I would just, well, I'm going to disagree with something Jared said. You
said they're not. Could be the end of, yeah,
No, you said they're not our family. I disagree. They are. I feel so connected in I've known them for a year, and I feel like they, which is ironic because every single person who I've met in this group has taken us and let us be nosy into their families and their situation, and I love each and every one of them. We go to their birthday parties.
That's nice.
We go to their family parties. We're going to a soccer game later. Like you guys are my family, and they deserve everyone to take them in as they have taken us.
How does that feel, guys?
Thea Emily.
Yes, Thea Emily.
They call her Aunt Emily. Thea Emily.
I love it.
I said I'm not ready for kids, but I'll be your aunt.
All right, it's a start. You have to do them, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing very well if they're your family. You're really doing well. Yeah, that's really sweet. Well, what else can I ask you? Anything's coming up that you're planning to do? Are there any events or any things that we could tell people about? I want people who are interested want to connect any way possible to this event, to this, the issues.
So we talked a little bit about the documentary. We have showings coming up. We have a couple, and all those dates are on our website.
So they'll see it with that website you gave.
Yep,
okay.
Exactly. And Jared had mentioned that we encourage people to get creative with it, and something that we've suggested is if you look at our dates for our documentary and you don't see one that works, you can host one, and that's something that's kind of different, and you get to meet these beautiful girls and the rest of the cast and us.
Yeah, I think that's all terrific. Yeah.
So that's something that if you're listening and you think that you do want to do something, that's a creative option.
They could go to that website and send a message to you guys that they would like to host something.
And we were talking about the flexibility of the documentary. We don't have to bring in, if you've seen the show, the main set piece is a giant 13-foot tall, very wide creature.
Really?
It's very big. It's not a puppet, it's a creature.
It's Bill Mendoza.
Yes, they named it. What did they name
What's the name?
Bill Mendoza.
I don't know how I got that name, but okay.
That's great.
So he's not easy to get around. He made it to DC, but the documentary can go anywhere. So that's something that's an option.
I also wanted to ask a little bit, I don't know if you guys were one of the ones that did this or not, but the going to DC and talking to people in Congress, what kind of reactions, what positive, negative, what kind of things did you get? Because they might have some power. I think this may be in the courts too, I'm pretty sure. It's being litigated to see if we can stop it.
Yeah.
All of us here, when we went to Washington in February with the play, we all also went lobbying.
So you all did this?
Yes,
Okay.
we all have had that experience. Me and Angela have gone more than twice.
We went 2 years ago, and it was a different reaction because we went together before the play, before everything. They were like, what's TPS?
Yeah.
It was like more giving information out. And then this past year, like this year that we went, it was more, now I want you to do something. Not, I'm here to tell you what it is. Now I'm here to say that you need to do something for me. Like, it's more, as a citizen, as a child of the United States, I am asking you to protect me. As a citizen, I'm asking you to do something for me and my family. I think that was our message this time. It wasn't more going to inform them. It was more to tell them to come in our favor, to do something. And we have had a variety of answers.
Yeah.
Some are negative and some are positive. And I think going into there, I know that I am prepared for both of those answers. And I'm not surprised when I get a negative answer. And I'm not surprised if I get a positive answer.
How do you deal with the negative ones?
I think when I get a negative answer, I think I just focus on the positive. I focus that I went to Washington, D.C., that I came all the way there to ask for them to come in favor, and that I'm making a change. And I think that I just know that they're wrong, and they're not doing the correct thing that they should be doing.
Your attitude is totally on the sunny side of the street. You're finding a positive, and it's kind of like a reframing of the situation and looking at what is good about what you're doing.
Looking at the situation from a different perspective.
Way to go, Francisca. Really. Yeah. And any other comments about the, when you encountered the people in DC?
Well, I've been lobbying 4 times. I've gone to lobby 4 times.
Good for you. Yeah.
And when we went I went to the HR 6 voting. It's a law getting passed that's gonna protect DACA and TPS.
Yes.
So we also went lobbying that day, and there was a lot of support coming from the congresswoman and the congressmen. They were all saying that they had our vote, that they were gonna vote yes.
Good.
And when it came to the voting, they actually voted yes.
Oh, good. So they did what they said.
Yes. And it was all because of the lobbying we were doing, all the action we were taking. They knew that what TPS was, they knew that they had to vote yes.
Mm-hmm. Anything that you want to add?
Well, when we went to Washington, D.C. in February, and when we performed in Congress, there's a part in the end when I say, will you help me? And I asked one of our representatives, Jimmy McGovern.
Yeah.
I asked him at the end, I put my hands out to him and asked him, and I got a positive answer from him. He said, yes, I will help you. And that actually gave me a lot of strength to continue fighting for my family. And I feel like getting positive answers is what we all want, but sometimes we won't get those positive answers that we want. We will get negative ones, but that positive answer really helped me, and it gave me a lot of strength.
I can see why. I want to add one thing to what you guys have said. I love what you said, that if you think about what's happening now, we have a lot of young people that have, since Parkland, that have really worked on gun violence and really made some difference. We had just this week the climate rally led by an amazing young person, and here you are, another bunch of amazing young people. I hope that gives you some hope and heart too, because young people are teaching us older ones some things we really should understand. And it seems to me the way you're doing it, by just honestly telling your stories, the way you just did today, to what you feel and how you added from a parent's point of view too. I think that really reaches people. I think it's the most powerful way to reach people. I hope there's a huge rally. I know there have been rallies, we've gone to them for TPS, and may they continue and maybe even get bigger. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's what we hope for. And some youth, I know because I've heard it, are scared to come out because they don't think they have a voice, but I just want everybody to know that youth do have a voice. We have a strong voice, and I'm using mine. And me, Angela, Sophia, my sisters, everybody in the play, we're all using our voices, and now it's time for them to also use their voices. Our deadline is coming, the clock is ticking, we don't have a lot of time, so we want everybody that knows that they want to do something, that knows that they have to do something, to come out and actually do it.
Very well said. Very well said. Anybody have anything else to add here?
They go in the next, I think in November, they go again to Washington. They want to visit each Senate because they want to listen about this family. It's only 3 months, and 3 months ends the time. They go again to explain again. They not only play in the plane. They working each day in different things.
Good. It needs to be national.
To make the goal.
Yes. Am I right too that a couple people, I think, at the Watertown meeting mentioned that they had actually had an audience with the Pope and
Yes.
presented? Tell me about that.
I actually had the great blessing to be able to go to Italy and actually meet with Pope Francis himself.
You were one of them. I wasn't sure. Is that amazing, Francisca?
Yes, me, my 2 older sisters,
Mhm.
Angela's older brother, and Joseph Urias, who is also in the play. We all had the great blessing of going to Italy.
Can you say a little what that was like for the people who are watching?
It was so amazing. It was empowering that this great figure, this great public figure, somebody that I look up to, actually shook my hand and told me that immigrants, that immigration is a human right. Hearing those words, it was like, this is why I'm fighting. This is why I stand up. This is why I get my voice out there. Hearing those words were so empowering, and it was amazing.
I believe you.
It took my breath away.
Huh. Wow, that's incredible. Any last words, anybody, before we wrap up? Any things you want to make sure we haven't talked about that are important?
There is a specific showing that's happening of the documentary, and it'll be at Harvard on the 27th of September. So that's a Friday.
Okay.
And there's actually a whole day of events surrounding immigration in the United States right now that will be happening then. And so if people would like to come out to that, it would be great. So that's next week.
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully people will hear this before that, but if not, at least to similar things.
And then there's another showing that will be happening on October 4th.
Oh, good. All right.
So just in case we don't get that.
Where's that one at also?
That is at a Unitarian church, and I'm not exactly sure where. I could get the address, and we could.
And maybe
it's up on the site as well.
Post it on the web. I was just going to say on the website. And anything else on the website that's important for us to know that you put up? Just activities and.
Well, the youth committee here in Massachusetts has an Instagram. And we post a lot of pictures of things that we're doing when we're active, showings, pictures, videos.
Wow.
And there's a lot of youth who have Instagram, so they should most definitely go follow us.
Use social media.
That's we haven't even talked about that, but that's another way to reach a lot of people, isn't it?
Yes.
And especially young people.
Comité TPS has a Facebook, and they always keep everybody updated on that. We have an Instagram, and you can find all of that on the website too.
And #SaveTPS, and you'll see everything.
Okay, very good. Well, what I want to say to all of you is first of all, thank you. I think nothing could make the case better than your honest stories and the honesty of your feelings, and I hope that people learned a lot about what this is really about and why this is so important. What you said before about we have to be able to maintain our soul and to be able to deal with injustice like this and stand up and have a voice, be heard like you're all trying to do, and keep that positive attitude that you have to try to really make a change. So I ask all the people that are watching the show, I hope that you will think a lot about what you heard. I hope it's reached your hearts, and I hope you will follow some of the advice coming from some very wise people here. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching our show here today, and hope you'll tune in again soon to another Sunny Side of the Street. Take care, everybody, and thanks for watching. And remember our TPA.